void of understanding and direction? Have you ever needed a course correction? Somebody, please, just show me the way. Just help me out. All I need is a little guidance, and I promise I'll make it happen. I've been there. Many of you have probably been there as well. Most often, we lend to our family and our friends because they're closest to us. Let me caution you. Just because they're a family member or a friend, it doesn't qualify that they'll give you sound advice. It just qualifies that they're merely your family and your friends. But I got good news for you. I know somebody. Totally credible. Character, check. Conduct, check. Commitment, check, check. Oh, and it gets better. He's here right now on the Marc Baxter Show. Please welcome 11-year NFL standout, the one, the only, Lance Johnstone to the Marc Baxter Show. Lance Johnstone, it's a pleasure. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, definitely. Hey, let's talk a little about your career. Discuss your career presently and also the path that you took to get to this point.
You talking about from like day one career?
And give us what you got. If it's the first job, if it's the...
I'm talking about from like cutting grass to shoveling snow, raking leaves, paper route, McDonald's. All of those are true stories.
Nice.
And then went to college. Was drafted by the Raiders in 1996, second round.
Impressive.
And, you know, it's a job, but it's living a dream at the same time. So I was able to do that for 11 years between the Raiders and the Vikings. Retired, started working at Merrill Lynch as a financial advisor. Did that for almost 4 years. And now, you know, I work more with a boutique firm, do a lot of private equity, and I do some business management and risk management for a lot of
what does that look like? What does that look like to people that don't understand?
Well, risk management basically is insurance.
Okay.
And the reason I like to use the word risk management is because it's to remind people, you know, a lot of us think about what we don't have and always trying to attain the wealth we don't have, as opposed to just protecting what you got first.
Gotcha.
Not, you know, once you understand, you know, appreciate and understand the wealth you got first, protect that insurance, that's your first investment. The second investment is making it grow.
Gotcha.
And, you know, a lot of us are going to a different way and almost looks like risk management, insurance, whatever you have, protecting what you have, isn't worth the money to invest in it early on, because you never really see the return until you really need it. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Ask somebody that don't have home insurance when a tornado comes.
Right.
You know, or if you don't have your portfolio as an investor set up properly, you know, again, risk management, you know, spreading your investments amongst more things than just one, to have one working off the others. If you're not balanced right in the market crash, you're done.
Gotcha.
You know?
Kind of being diversified.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
and that's your life. You know?
Okay. You mentioned something earlier that stood out. You said kind of living a dream. And I must congratulate you on a prosperous NFL career. But to most, you are living a dream life. So why don't you compare and contrast playing in the NFL to your present career?
Well, one, the transition isn't that easy. Only because, one, you gotta, you know, for most guys that's playing in the NFL, probably, I shouldn't say most, probably all guys that's in the NFL, to get there, that was your dream at some point. You achieve it. Okay? At some point, no matter how good you are, how long you play, it's going to come to an end. And in the real world, at a relatively young age, you know, if you play a long time, you can still be 35,
right?
Retired, you know, so you still got a lot of the backside left over. So the transition isn't easy, for one, just changing your whole lifestyle. The other thing is finding something that you can have a passion for, to apply the same things that allows you to be successful in athletics to, you know, your second career now.
Discuss
and that's
that.
not easy. That's not easy.
What have you come up with? What have you captured from the NFL that's now applicable in your life, you know, as a professional?
Well, I mean, teamwork. You know what I mean? No man's an island, and if you are, you're usually not gonna go but so far because you need help.
Right.
You know what I mean? So sports, especially team sports, as football teaches you teamwork. So I think that's in any team sports, not just football, but a lot of team sports. You know, that's why I'm, you know, regardless of how my kids do in sports, well, I want them to play some type of team sport because it just understands how to work with people to achieve a common goal, regardless of your differences.
Nice.
You know, so I think that's the biggest thing. The other thing is wanting to win. You know, building that drive to win. That comes with usually doing something competitive, whatever it is. It could be chess. Do something to make you competitive. So these things I think help transition, but it still is not that easy because when I left college, I played football for 11 years. Somebody as my peer, they left college and went to their profession. So they got 11 years head start.
Right. Interesting outlook.
So you got to even play some catch up once you get into doing something that you haven't been doing. Because now you're in your mid-30s when people in your same position been doing it for 10 years by the time they're in their mid-30s because they did it right out of college.
Absolutely, good point. You made mention of it being a difficult transition. And a few months ago, I watched a special on SportsCenter, 30/30, called Broke. And it featured athletes, both current and former, and it discussed the transition from playing professional sports into getting a career in the real world. And it talked that many people, athletes, don't make the transition well. So what was the most difficult part of making that transition? Other than not getting the big giant checks like every other week or whenever y'all got paid?
Yeah. I mean, it's not so much that as opposed to just learning something new. You know, when you come from a point where you know you're at the top of whatever level you're on, and you're starting at the bottom of the next level.
Gotcha.
You know, is learn how to humble yourself for one, and knowing what you don't know, and going out there trying to learn it. So. Yeah, just taking that step back, you know. So whatever it is, you're a rookie again.
Right, little humility.
Yeah, you're a rookie again, and so that's I think that could be with anybody, any second career. You know, is learning something new and climbing that ladder again.
Now you're sitting here, 6'5", 250, 255, 260. You know, what do you fear?
I fear, you know, not trying to really maximize my potential. You know what I mean? Or trying to, you know, leaving here and leaving something undone, bigger than anything. So, you know, that leaves you with wanting to take some risks. Although, you know, the older you grow, the wiser you grow. You can make different decisions. However, you gotta try to do the most that you think you're supposed to do.
I got you. Maximize your potential.
Yeah. So, and then the balance it comes with going with that. So you know, it's one thing trying to work till your eyes bleed, but you know sometimes that don't lead to success once you learn more balance. So it's learning that, and you know that's not easy. It changes once you think you figure it out. Something else hits you. No
doubt, absolutely, I agree. So let's contrast that question and let's ask, what motivates you most in life?
Just trying to leaving my kids and the ones after me with more than what I had at their point. You know, passing on a legacy, I guess you would call it. So that's my motivation. And you know, I kind of thought like that before I had kids, but once I had kids, it brings a realization to it, you know, and just saying, okay, y'all need to take a step up from where I came from, and just like my parents did for me.
Right. Yeah. But I got you. It defines your purpose a lot more, having your kids. So talk about family. Like, how important has family been in your journey thus far?
It's been everything because it's your immediate family, you know, the people you share DNA with, and then it's your extended family, whether it's a team, friends, significant others, you know. So you have different you have different parts of your family. Mm-hmm. So it's been everything. It's absolutely everything. So, you know, I try to keep that in mind.
And is that also a part of your motivation?
Yeah, I mean, again, going back to kids, your immediate is your immediate. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's my motivation. But I know if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do in that area, it trickles down. And when I'm supporting my family, extended, immediate, whatever, you know, sometimes it ain't money, sometimes it's support, time, a word of encouragement. You know, just trying to keep feeding the system that way.
Okay. So being as though you had achieved a lot of success in many different areas in your life, and I've been there to see you set goals and actually set out and achieve them, both small and large. But tell the people, give them some characteristics, 3 characteristics that are essential to establishing a level of success.
I don't know if it's just 3 or if it's the same 3 for everybody, but I think if you focus on 3 that's important to you, you could probably, you know, for me, you know, you're talking about family, you're talking about faith, perseverance, you know, resolve. That would be ones I would resonate towards more, and you know, it might be different. Somebody, you know, there's no particular order, but it might be different from person to person. But for me, if I had to answer that question, that'd be my top 3.
Okay, now what stood out to me is that perseverance. You know, that's the ability to dig deep. Like, educate the audience. Just give them some adjectives, some characteristics that go into being steadfast and having a proper
It's survival. Perseverance is survival. You know, your will to survive. So, and using that same will to lock in on the goal that you want to achieve. And if you have the skill sets and the purpose, the perseverance to chase a certain goal and willing to do what it takes to get there, no matter what, chances are you're going to do better than not.
Got you.
You know,
I'm a licensed therapist, a master's level clinician. That's my occupation. I'm in schools a lot, dealing with kids that have behavioral problems, from autism to ADHD, so forth and so on, and also dealing with the families, giving them different strategies and techniques to better their household as well as the behavior of their children. The common response when I ask all of the kids, what do you want to do when you grow up? I'll say 95% of them respond with, I want to be a professional athlete in some way, shape, or form, whether it's the NBA, the NFL, or so forth. So give some advice to some of the youngsters out there that have aspirations. Maybe they're playing Little League ball and maybe they are really good, but they're so far away. Give them some advice from someone that's been there and done that.
Believe that you can do it. I always believed I could do it, even when times got rough, and do what it takes to get there. And you know, it's only but so many people that can play in professional sports. Like, that's just the way the numbers are. You know, and there's a lot of different levels of professional sports.
It's like 1%
to be open up to that. Yeah, 1%, but you still got different levels and, you know, different leagues of professional sports. So, you know, the numbers grow, and it's where you want to, you know, find out where you fit, if that's an opportunity that you can have. But if you really love sports and you want to be on a professional level, there's a lot of professions that's in professional sports that you can still apply another skill that you may have if you don't have the physical talent.
Like what?
Or sometimes the luck. You know, people with physical talent, you got injuries, you know, so there's a lot of variables to get into professional sports and stay in there. But if your passion is sports and you want to be a professional, you know, be open to the other levels of being involved in that.
Got you.
Yeah.
So basically, now correct me if I'm wrong, position yourself accordingly, position yourself around what you desire to become. Meaning that if they aspire to be an athlete or be in the sports, make your time worthy in which you engage in activities associated with sports. You know, look at some of the other aspects of sports, like being a broadcaster,
exactly.
things like that.
For most part, you know, we all got more than one talent. You know, and physically you could be, you know, very good athletically, but you probably do have another talent somewhere else, like you were saying. Then use that to stay around your sports if you want to.
I got you. Okay.
You know,
all right.
And it allows you to keep that passion in that same area, regardless. I mean, even some guys that's playing, you know, 5, 10, 20 years in professional sports, still have a passion for it, still end up doing something.
Coaching,
commentating, in the back scenes, scouting. So if it's part of you and if it's a way that you can, you know, express yourself, and I say look at all aspects of it. Don't just look at it as just, you know, the physical aspect of it.
Okay, good answer, and hopefully that'll be helpful to some of the youngsters out there with those aspirations. And then also, you know, those youngsters have parents, and we see, especially in today's era, the parents are living vicariously through their kids. The parents are more passionate about their kids going to play professional ball than the kids are. You have parents arguing with referees. In fact, a few days ago, I read an article in which a referee in Brazil was actually beheaded after a game.
Yeah.
How ridiculous is that?
That's
what advice would you give parents?
That shows you the passion for the sport. Unfortunately, that's on the extreme end. Like that, there's no place for that whatsoever. But it's a fine balance between, you know, supporting your kid and going overboard. You know, like my dad, my family supported my whole athletic career. You know, just coming to practice, watching practices all the way to the games, and traveling to go see other games and whatever have you. So I encourage parents to stay passionate about their kids. And there are times when, you know, you need to speak up for your kid. But if I had to give anything, it's just that, you know, that discretion.
Right.
And when the time is right and when it's not. And, you know, that's not always easy. That's, you know, with a lot of things as parents. But that would be the biggest thing. Just take a step back, you know what I mean, and really ask yourself, how should you approach a situation to get the best result for you?
I got you. Stay focused on the result as a parent.
Right.
Don't get caught up in your own feelings.
Yeah, just take a step back and see how you can approach everybody in that situation and come out with the best result for the kid.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. So, Lance Johnstone, stellar NFL career, you know, professional now, helping people still with their financial life, becoming financially free, and also putting their lifestyle in perspective, if you will. When it's all said and done for you, what will equate to a job well done?
I don't know. Sometimes it's a moving target. You know, at a certain point in your life, you have one goal that you think is the end all be all. You grow older, and you be like,
how could I have thought that? I was so silly, right?
So it's
currently
it's still like that, but you know, it still goes back to the family. You know, family, my legacy, my kids. You know, it's all gonna circle back there to where, you know, for me, when my father just recently passed, you know, I could think of it in a respect that I could say to him, job well done.
Right.
So for me, for people when I'm gone, to have that same expression, regardless of my relationship with them, then you know, that's where it's at. All I can do is what I can do now. So I'm just trying to keep making it better for them, which is giving them exposure and education, and anybody else I could touch with that. So
you know what's so amazing about that, and why I respect you so much, in addition to many other reasons, is because even in answering that question, you were selfless. You know, nothing that you said was contributing to your fame or to your, exposure or acknowledging you. It's all about leaving a deposit. And that's why I appreciate you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the audience? Maybe offer some advice or maybe a contact information if they can use some of your services perhaps?
No, the only thing I would really just have to say is just keep learning, keep learning, keep looking outside the box, and keep looking within and just try to grow yourself. That's just the basic, and everything else. You take it as it comes.
Absolutely, take it as it comes. Be a great counterpuncher. And basically, what you just outlined.
I like that counterpuncher.
Absolutely, you just outlined the theme to the Marc Baxter Show. Continue to develop yourself.
Right.
Overcome your insecurities, embrace your fears, and use them towards your strengths.
Right.
Hey, Lance, you did a tremendous job, man. The pleasure was all mine.
I appreciate you having me, brother.
In closing, I want to leave you with a few words of advice. As you know, we all get down sometime. We all feel depressed. We all aren't at our best all the time. But when you see people that seem to always appear optimistic and in a good mood, it's not that they're always in a good mood, it's just that they became students of their confident moments, meaning that they observe confident moments. They figure out what are the antecedents to being confident, meaning what comes before the moment of confidence, what comes after it. How do I feel before that confident moment? And the reason they do this is because they want to continue to duplicate that experience so they can maintain their confidence. Now, let's say you're not at that point yet. A sure shot way to get out of a funk or out of a depression is to always find someone else to encourage. It's 100% effective. Until next time, be safe, but more importantly, be loved.